So in the matter of this guy, it's basically a ratty, disheveled, and what at times seems to be a kind of ambulatory herpes manifestation on the earth plane, and person who seems intent upon doing damage to democracy by representing all of Trump's worst instincts to be a fascist, populist, dictatorial force, which, by the way, Bannon himself is. And you know this via his chart through a very stationary Pluto at birth. Pluto is exactly that, and planet in that condition gains tremendous power of expression, and that's what this guy does. On top of that, he's got a stationary Mercury, so he's a yapper, he talks. And currently, he's spouting nonsense about how he's going to go all medieval on his enemies, whatever that means. But what is true is that he's in court, the jury is being selected, because he has to deal with the fact that he declined to obey a congressional subpoena, and as a result, he's going to trial. And when you look at his chart, what you notice is that being a Sagittarius in the early degrees, and possibly also involving the moon, if he's born in the second half of the day, sometime starting in the afternoon, then you would have the sun in early Sag degrees and the moon in early Virgo degrees. I'm a little bit skeptical of that. There's a chart floating around that gives him a 9:30 p.m. time, which would give him the moon in Virgo. The reason I don't totally buy that is that his disheveled and at times even lacking in hygiene presentation tends to run a little counter to a Virgo moon. Nevertheless, it's still possible. Another counterpoint to a Virgo moon would be that aside from having Jupiter in the Gemini degrees where Trump's sun happens to be, which thereby creates a strong link between these two in that they like one another. Jupiter's sun does that. If his moon, instead of being in Virgo, is in late Leo, then it connects him to those same degrees in Trump's chart via the ascendant, which would make a lot of sense. Moreover, those late Leo degrees connect an individual to the star Regulus, which shows up a lot around fame and notoriety, or you could say fame and infamy. So there's an uncertainty around this time, but no matter what time he's born, his sun will still remain in the 5-degree range of Sagittarius. Therefore, going into 2023, Saturn is going to cruise through those degrees in Pisces, and it's going to square that sun. And Sagittarius, as a sign, always has the potential to link you to law, because Sagittarius is the sign of law. And the last place you want to be is on the other side of the law when that transit is happening, because Saturn is notorious for bringing about accountability. So I'll end by saying, yeah, Steve, you can threaten to go medieval on whoever, but Saturn doesn't listen to threats. Saturn basically comes around and collects on past dues. And when it comes to you, I think there's a lot to collect on. So if I were you, I'd be careful with what I say, what I do, and I would look forward to quite a long spell of time here when the situation looks pretty dire.